Hey, folks, welcome back. It's that time again. I want to welcome you to the 360 Capital Management radio program. This is 360 Radio, and we are glad that you're taking some time again from your day to tune in with us. Alongside me here, I'm your host, by the way, Dwight Mejan. Next to me is Mitchell Keiser, the honor of working with my son-in-law, and also Sam Davis, our executive producer. We're glad that you're taking some time again on your weekend to listen to us, but we've got some great stuff here today to go over and to talk about. Before we jump into that, I'm going to get straight to the heart of this. But before I do that, Mitchell, you doing all right today? Another great week.
Yeah, I'm doing well over here. It is still annual enrollment season. So for our listeners that have been tuning in for some time, know that I'm a registered investment advisor as well with Dwight, but I handle our clients' Medicare planning. So what that means is that I get hundreds and hundreds of phone calls this time of year for everybody trying to update their drug plans, advantage plans, all that jazz. But needless to say to our listeners, if you guys need a review of that, or if you're wondering what it even is or what some of the benefits may be, if there's something that we haven't touched on this show, we encourage you to give us a call at 910-235-0812. I'd be happy to answer any questions, run anything that you guys might be wondering. But anyhow, so that's kept me plenty busy. How are you doing, Sam?
Doing well, guys. Excited to be back on the air producing the 50th episode of Retire 360. So by the end of today, we're going to have over 50 hours of retirement information for all the listeners out there. So if you want to catch up on any of the past conversations we've had, whether it be about Medicare or taxes or planning for income in retirement, you can just go to the podcast feed wherever you listen to podcasts, Retire 360, and you can have a master class of retirement information right there for you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we appreciate Sam. It's great that we can connect from a distance, so to speak. Sam's, many of you know, is in Atlanta area, and we just love the fact that we could put this show together, with him there and us here in North Carolina. But he's been a great resource for us. And we're just glad, folks, that you're here and that you're tuning in. Well, I want to jump in before we get into some of what we're going to talk about today. I have a special announcement to make, and it comes a little bit bittersweet, but I think sweet nonetheless. We have made a strategic decision here at 360 Capital Management. Many of you tune in to different ways that we educate you, our audience, and our listeners. Some of you tune into our podcast. Some of you go to our YouTube channel. Some of you can't get this when it's playing in your area, so you'll go to one of those places. We are going to continue to be the consummate educators that we are, and we are a fiduciary firm, but we've made an important decision, we believe, to move more towards the podcast area. So for those of you who are listening, particularly here in the Moore County area, this is going to be a pause button for us for the time being with radio. We are going to still deliver the same content to you, our listening audience. We've had the great privilege and the great pleasure this year of meeting many of our listeners at our live events. And that is where we have just decided strategically to continue to meet with folks. And we're going to do that. We're going to continue to expand our YouTube channel. But as far as radio goes, we'd love to hear from you on this, but we're going to hit the pause button there. So you might find us back at some point next year. We've been very busy here in our office. In fact, we've been so busy, we're adding some more staff on a full-time basis. So part of that strategic decision as well is we're going to take some of the time on the holidays to train some new team members with our team and make sure they understand our core mission, our core values. And we want to continue to deliver not just on telling you what those values are, but we want to live those values. And that's the commitment that I have as the founder of 360 Capital Management. I know I'm supported in that with Mitchell and as well, Sam as well. We're going to continue to work with him and his team and the team behind the scenes to bring you the content and the information that all of you need to simply help you win with your money. You know, one of our mission, if you haven't been to our website, is to help you, the listening audience, to responsibly grow and protect both you and our clients' wealth through innovative leadership, coaching, and teaching. And at the heart, folks, of whoever you work with to guide you and steer you in that retirement plan, we believe the most important thing is the heart of a teacher that you work with. So we'll talk a little bit more about core values, because we want to kind of start today's show on some things that we've learned from radio and from you, our listening audience, through feedback that we've received, both in terms of email, both in terms of people who've called into the show, people who we've met with in person, who listen to this show, people who've listened, and we've done Zoom calls with you. We kind of put together some things that came to our mind that we want to share back with you, the listener. And I really want to thank you, the listeners, because believe it or not, having done this for over 30 years now, my clients have really been the people who've taught me the most. I know that sounds maybe crazy to some of you, having a degree in finance from Purdue University. That goes back a little ways, but I love the fact that I learn every day in this business, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I think it was John Wooden, the famous coach at UCLA. He said, "It's what you learn after you know it all that counts." And we certainly we know a lot about what we do in guiding and steering our clients, but we learn every day. And sometimes we learn through the mistakes of people who have advisors somewhere else that come into this office. And we have to help sometimes clean that up. And we learn in that process. And sometimes we learn, and I prefer to learn this way, through the good decisions that people make. But at the end of the day, folks, that's one of the kind of the heartbeats. If you want to beat to my drum here a little bit, it's the choices that we all make that ultimately get us to the destination we want to go to. I tell my kids this all the time. I don't know who said this, but there's a choice you make in everything you do. So keep in mind that in the end, the choice you make makes you. And you can apply that to every single area of your life. You can apply it to your finances. You can apply it to the relationships you have. Many of you have heard me talk about my family. Very much a family man. It's very, very important to me. My faith is very important to me. But I had a grandma, my mom's mom, and she used to tell me as a young kid, I remember this at the table when she was peeling potatoes, making potatoes for dinner. And I would sit around that table from my grandma, and she would say to me, she'd say, "Dwight, the only difference between who you are today and who you're going to become 5 years from now is the books you read and the people you hang around." And I still remember that. I'm sure she, I don't know if that's her saying. I don't even know. I haven't even looked that up. So Sam probably can look that up and tell me who said it. If it was her, I consider her to be a very wise woman. But anyway, that was our mission. Okay. And our vision, and I'm very big on this. Some of you who've listened to the show for a while know that I went through a personal journey early in life because I struggled making some decisions in my life, just in different areas. They weren't major areas, but I got to working with somebody who was a psychotherapist who was in executive coaching. And in a previous role that I was a manager for a large insurance company of one of their branch offices, I got to work privately one-on-one with this person who was in executive coaching, but they had a psychotherapy background. I worked with this person about every 3 weeks for a year and a half. And there were so many great things that came out of that. One of them was I learned how to put together a mission, a vision, and a core values. And it's crazy, we go to these higher learning institutions in college, and I don't remember anybody teaching me the art of decision-making. And decision-making, I think, is a little bit of science. It's a little bit of art. But we learn, we learn from good decisions, as I talked about earlier, that I've seen, other people make, made some myself, made some bad decisions. But the key is, what do we learn from both of those situations? And that's going to kind of catapult us into what we're going to talk about here for just a few minutes before we hop into the main topic today of really what was the main area that we looked back on in 2023 that our clients benefited the most, and our listeners, where did they come to us for the most advice, and what did we see out there? So that's kind of what today's episode is about as well. But our vision here at 360 Capital Management, our vision is to become our clients. Our first priority is always to our clients. I always say that. We love to get information and give back, which is why we do this program and why we're going to continue to put out great content in podcast material and some other outlets. But our clients are our most valuable asset by helping them create a wealth management plan that offers comprehensive solutions that instills bold confidence in any economic environment. And I think with the volatility that we've seen, I think that's something that, if we're all honest, that confidence is what we all want to have, particularly when it comes to our finances. Because if you're retired and you listen to this show, you don't have time to go back and go to work. And you don't really want to go back to work, most of you, if you lose a lot of money. So that is our vision. We want to instill boldness. We want to instill confidence in any economic environment. And hopefully this show has helped some of you who are not clients of ours to gain a little bit more confidence. I'm just going to encourage you, if this show, if you've learned things from it, we want your feedback. We've made some decisions, as I just talked about, looking at 2024 and looking ahead, but we're not immune from changing course. Okay. I'll just put it that way. So if you've benefited from this show and you've never called in or you've never communicated to us, I'm going to let Mitchell do it here a minute. Mitchell, why don't you give our listeners here in Moore County, give them our radio, give them the email address where they can go to and they can contact us and say, hey, I have appreciated this aspect of your show or this, or, keep me informed of what you're doing. And we want to particularly let those listeners know, where they can find us. We're telling you where you can find us. We have a YouTube channel. You can continue to download us on podcasts. But Mitchell, give them some other places they can call and reach out to us here.
Sure. So we have a website specifically for our radio show, which is retire360show.com. You could reach us at our phone number. Our office line is 910-235-0812. Our main website, which is not, it's a little bit different from the radio website in the sense that it's not just radio focused, but our company's website for 360 Capital Management is 360-C as in capital, M as in management.org. So you guys could check us out there if you wanted to read about our values, who we are, our bios, all that good stuff. I would actually, and you haven't talked a whole lot about this yet, but I would encourage our listeners to check out our YouTube. Look up the Retire 360 Show. You could find that on podcasts. You can find it on Spotify. And you can also go onto Facebook. And if you just look up 360 Capital Management, we've got a ton of feeds on Facebook and Instagram. We have a really great social media and contents team that puts out tons of content every week. So if you guys like the facts that we're giving out to you and you want to stay current with the things that our research finds, the best place to see that most regularly is going to be through our Facebook and through our Instagram. So I'd encourage you guys to check that out. What you want to look up is just 360 Capital Management. If you want to put that into your Facebook or Instagram browser, we've got a ton of great stuff. And again, if you guys have any questions, you can inquire on our website. There's a little spot to do that, or just call us. We're not, or I should say the people that answer our phone they're pretty nice, and they may be able to answer your question, or maybe it's something that we'll be able to get back to you. So don't be a stranger.
Yep. I appreciate you sharing that with everybody, Mitchell.